This video is covering the ethnicity comparison section of your paper. This is the last major section of your paper before the conclusion. So this section will have the last two outside sources that you had to find. So you had to find 4 total plus the textbook. You used 2 in the analysis section, and now you're going to use 2 in the ethnicity comparison section. You are not limited to 4 sources only. That is just the minimum. If you want exceeds proficiency, you use more resources that are scholarly. Okay, so while last time in the other section, in the analysis section, you had to find those peer-reviewed journal articles that had the study and the sample and all that, in this section you don't have to have those. You can use those, or you can use a book, an academic book that you find. It can be a free textbook. It can be another textbook for another course, maybe. It can be a book from the library, right? Or obviously an ebook if you want to use that. So it's just 2 other academic sources. One has to do with your racial ethnic identity experience, any part of it, and then one about the person you interviewed's racial ethnic experience. So there's a ton of resources that are provided inside the course. None of them, you might not find the perfect one there, but you are free to use the resources I've provided in the course. You're free to do your own research using the library databases, or maybe something that you've read for another course that you can use here, or you can search online. Make sure though that you are finding scholarly academic sources. They don't have to be those journal articles, but they do need to be scholarly, academically valid. So again, go back to the how to find the sources for the paper page if you're not sure of what you are locating is meets the criteria. And you can always send me a message with a link or a PDF of the item, and I can check it out for you. All right, so this section generally is about 3 paragraphs in length. Why? 1 paragraph about you, 1 paragraph about your interviewee, racial ethnic identity, both of you, and then 1 that's a comparison, where you look for 2 commonalities, 2 differences. It can be more, it's fine. And so here's your sort of breakdown here. The first part, you're going to provide a summary of some of the key aspects of the interviewee's racial ethnic group experience. So present information from the first source, about their racial ethnic identity that you found, and use citations where you paraphrase. Then your second paragraph of this section is on your racial ethnic identity and the article you found about yours. And so you're going to summarize and provide evidence from that article and from the book and whatever sources you want about your racial ethnic group. Now, we're not talking here about historical stuff like, that you would write for like a history class. It's not like that. You want to find things that are somewhat related to the experience, which is why I suggest going through some of the resources in the class. So it's more about the identity experience. And remember, it's multicultural psychology, so we kind of pull from other social sciences, but you don't want to give me sort of a rundown of dates and places and, a historical overview. I'm not saying that can't be included, but remember your audience. You're writing for a psychology course, so you want to write a little more about the identity formation of your racial ethnic group. And key events may tie into that. And I'm not saying exclude them. I'm saying don't write it solely from that perspective. All right, so the easiest way to get around that is to think about the areas of analysis again. And it doesn't have to be the ones you wrote about, but it could be, or it may be other topics within the areas of analysis, just to kind of give you a start. Well, what do I talk about? That would be a good place to go back to, because those are all covered in our textbook. Really, if it's covered in the textbook, it's fair game for this section. So 3 paragraphs. What's in the 3rd paragraph? That's the comparison. So the first one is about the interviewee's group. 2nd paragraph in this section is about yours, and the 3rd is sort of a combination, comparing the 2. So let's go to the template. and look at where this goes in your paper. This goes after the analysis section. And here we go, ethnic comparison. I only have 2 paragraphs here, but it's going to be about 3 in length because one, we just went over that. And so I don't have a lot in this section. I'm hoping that it's pretty clear what you should write about here. The next section is the conclusion. And again, I'm not going to have another video for that. Conclusion is just an overview of what you wrote about in your paper. And this is where you should put your opinion. So the conclusion section is the only place in an APA paper where your opinion matters, I guess you can say, where you can write about I thought, I experienced. In the rest of the paper, the majority of it is presenting evidence from more of a third person. So in this section, you can feel free to talk about the assignment, talk about the interview, your thoughts and impressions, your ideas, and again, just sort of an overview of what you wrote about and what you found, what you discovered through this assignment in the conclusion section. Thank you so much.